3 times in 1960. In 1961, the new 1.5-litre formula was introduced, and as expected, Britain had nothing to field against the new rear-engined V6 Ferraris, producing 175 brake horsepower against the old 4-cylinder Coventry Climax, which could only manage some 40 horsepower less. Only the Maestro Moss could overcome that sort of handicap, and then only on real drivers' circuits. Driving Rob Walker's year-old Lotus 18, he held the snarling Ferraris at bay to take the Monaco Grand Prix for the 2nd year running. He did the same again on the daunting Nürburgring circuit, his 16th victory. At that time, only the great Fangio had won more. Sadly, though, it would be his last.
26 cars took part in this race of 212 miles over the world's most difficult circuit. The grueling pace produced a number of incidents. Lucky to get out of that one alive. Stirling Moss, number 7, gave a masterly display. At the wheel of a Lotus Climax, he took the lead on the first lap and fought off the Ferrari. Rain at the end didn't prevent him winning at a record speed of over 93 miles an hour.
And then it suddenly poured with rain, and of course Stirling in the rain, nobody could touch him, and he finished, I think, 22 seconds ahead, and it probably was his finest race. I never forget, with 300,000 Germans there and them playing the national anthem, and the British Army were in the grandstand and they held up the Union Jack, and it really was a very moving moment for me.
Aside from Moss in the Lotus, Ferraris won almost everything else that year. Such are the swift changes in fortune around this time that Cooper, who'd won 6 of the 9 championship rounds in 1960, won nothing in 1961. Indeed, they only won 1 race in the entire 5-year life of the 1.5-litre formula.
Goodwood came, and I said, "Look, Stirling, will you come down to Pau with me, because I think it's a good practice for Monaco." And he said, "Well, I see my British public so seldom, I want to race at Goodwood." So I said, "All right, well, I'll lend you the car, and you can race," because it was the Formula 1 car, "and I'll take the Formula 2 car, and Maurice Trampignon can race it at Pau." And of course Stirling had his dreadful accident there. I knew nothing about it. We went to Pau, we won at Pau. I was at the prize giving. Somebody came up to me and said, "How's Stirling?" And I said, "As far as I know, he's very well." And they said, "Oh, haven't you heard? He's just had the most dreadful accident." And I stayed in the daytime by his bedside for about 4 hours every day, and they wanted that when he came to, which was really about 6 weeks when he properly came to, they wanted somebody he knew to be by his bedside, and his father did every night beside him.
Moss was to make a slow but remarkable recovery, and though never again to race in Formula 1, is still driving competitively. He likes taking part in retrospectives, such as the Mille Miglia in Italy, and is still remembered and mobbed by fans. For 1962, Britain now had engines with which to take on Ferrari, 2 of them, 1.5-litre V8s from both BRM and Coventry Climax. At Silverstone in May, BRM had not had time to design a proper exhaust system, and their new V8 ran with stub exhausts which one by one fell off. Tark led the race for Lotus by some 25 seconds, but then it began to rain. Hill and the BRM started to lap much quicker than Jimmy. He was caught by surprise in the last corner of the last lap, and Hill won by a nose. Encouraged by this success, BRM started the World Championship with a win in the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, repeating